Go in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, menued a bit late, but oh well. So back again doing Spyro 3. I think I've done this 3 years in a row now.
Yeah, we did. I think we did 100 egg in the first one, and then I think you did 117 last year.
Yeah.
I remember staying up late for that one.
Now we're bringing back 100 egg with a bit more of a dangerous route.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. I've heard some really awesome things you guys have been.
It looks really cool when it goes well, but that's the thing, it has to go well to look cool.
Yeah.
So, you know, no guarantees. Yeah, this will be the no final boss skip of this category. So the normal way to beat this game is to pretty much rush the end of level and only get the final level egg, which means you beat it with 20 eggs, so it's a very low collectible run. But this one aims to not skip into the final boss, which means you have to collect 100 of them. So it includes a lot more of the side areas and a lot more of the open world things.
Yeah, just to mention a little bit more about that. The game has 4 hubs. In the first 3 hubs, the only requirement to beat them is to beat all the levels by, as Nerf said, getting the end of level egg. The 4th one requires 100 eggs to access the final boss. So we'll be doing that.
Yeah. Fortunately, there was a trick right at the start, and would have been able to explain it straight away, but I didn't get it, unfortunately.
Yeah. There'll be plenty more, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think the next opportunity, well, I forgot about that guy actually.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got a couple more of these. What Nerf's essentially trying to do here is what's called a proxy, in particular an enemy proxy or a dead body proxy. There are a couple things in this game that Spyro is allowed to charge into, but not allowed to be walking in or gliding in. So what you see Nerf doing is he's killing the enemy and then charge jumping into the hitbox and tapping jump to do a 1-frame glide. And if he does it at exactly the right time, the game will register that he's like stuck in the enemy and eject him out. And if you're charging on the next frame, you can sort of harness that ejection as a velocity and get a lot of height or distance.
Yeah, it takes you to definitely unintended places. Yeah. Which, unfortunately, I tried pretty much every single one possible, and no luck.
Yeah, they're not impossible, at least not most of them, but they're hard enough that like they're inconsistent, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's not as hard as it may sound, but it's definitely not exactly free.
Yeah, typical rule of thumb is the bigger the enemy, the easier the proxy is, but not always.
And this is going to be the second thing, which is actually a lot more precise than the other thing. So if I don't get this, I won't be surprised. I'll give it a couple tries before moving on. Alright, one more.
This is a tough one.
Yeah. Trying to get a very pixel specific, I guess. Whatever the term you want to call it.
Yeah, in the before time, whenever I ran this game, this was kind of thought to be like, not quite TAS only, but like nobody went for this, and now it's just a thing that top runners do.
Yeah, if done well, there's a very small bit of the layer that lets you swim, and once you do that, you can swim anywhere you want to, which basically functions as a way to fly around. So you can skip into levels from underneath and avoid having to pay for things.
Yeah, water is more of a light switch in this game than like an actual existing thing. Like when you charge the top of a water body, it's more just triggering swim state than like actually swimming, really.
Yeah, it will just reverse it. So if you're already swimming and you touch water, you'll stop swimming. And once you dive down, yeah, well, they'll start swimming, obviously.
Yeah. So there was a decent sized skip there into the end of this level, the side area here.
Yeah.
Side area portals tend to bleed pretty hard, so it's pretty easy to skip into them. Did you do the end of level skip, or did you go around?
End level skip isn't faster in this one.
Okay,
so, yeah.
Cool. Wasn't sure.
You know, it was. I completely didn't even realize I just did a glitch. Just sort of.
Yeah, just so normal.
Just explaining the other things.
Yeah, but so a lot of the side portals will either bleed like behind or below or above. They're pretty easy to get into. And this also allows you to skip the entire level because this is the end right here.
Yeah, nothing too notable about most challenges. Like for this one, for example, you just take the flying power up and going around and flaming all these spirits and ghastlies, as people like to call them. In fact, I think back in the day, a lot of people like to say things about Pokemon.
Yeah, Spyro community loved their Pokemon. Like, we got Bulbasaur, Nidoqueen, Ghastly, all in this game.
3 Pokemon in one game.
I know. It's more than Sword and Shield has, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So right there, that's an interesting little thing. Your momentum gets stored when you leave and exit side areas. So if you jump right before you leave that, by pausing and exiting, normally you're supposed to get thrown down, so you can't just glide to where I did. And that's supposed to, you know, you're supposed to do it the intended way and go all around the level to get up there, but yeah, once you jump before you leave, you change your momentum, and just lets you glide straight up there.
Yep. So we got every egg in that level, right?
Yeah. It's a very quick 6 egg level.
Yeah, all of the main levels have 6 eggs in them, and the homeworlds have 5. There's 150 eggs total in this game, which means we're getting 2/3 of them. Some of them are obviously fast, some of them are really slow, but we're getting most of them, I would say.
Yep, a good 2/3. It's not a huge amount you don't get in the actual levels themselves, because there's all per world that you automatically will not get because they're not worth it, which are speedways and sparks levels. So there's really only like 30 or so that you skip. So this really does include a lot more of the game than any percent would.
Yeah, so a lot happened there. We'll try to cover it quickly.
Yeah, that's another trick, wasn't it?
Yeah, so the first trick Nerf did was he got out of bounds using the Superfly power-up. There are some triggers in place to sort of prevent that from happening, but you can skip them all with precise movement. And then once he did that, he did essentially what he was trying to do earlier by charging the swim trigger and turning the light switch on to trigger swim state. And then he got into this level, which you normally have to pay for. You have to pay money bags, I think 300 gems to get in here. But since the portals need to be loaded into the game somewhere, they store them directly under where they're supposed to be in the homeworld, and then just move them up during the loads. So if you can get under the homeworld, like where the portal is supposed to be, then you can just access it.
Yeah, so normally there's a bear outside, and he wants you to pay him. It's basically the tax collector, or something like that. And he's the whole reason why gems are needed in a casual playthrough, but you can skip every single one, fortunately. At least in this game. The second game's a little different. So very fortunate that swim is definitely not as precise as the first one. Those who could be here all day.
Yeah. And then doing this level just slightly out of order. Pete's supposed to be the second goat, and then you go to the end, but it's like 1 or 2 seconds faster to go to the end first and then come back for him.
Yeah, the second goat takes a little while to walk over. His legs are too small. Yeah, so that's the bear there. We're supposed to pay him, but we're not going to. Especially because I don't even have enough even if I wanted to. So, there's lots. Just grab a quick little egg hidden in the boulder here. I wish I had more of them in things like that, honestly.
Yeah, I remember being like blown away by that in Spyro 2. Like whenever the head bash stuff started happening, like I remember very vividly. One of my friends was like, he pointed at the big rock in Winter Tundra and was like, "Think about how many gems you'll get out of that." Oh no! Classic.
You want to get that one?
Yeah. So, I'm not sure I know the technical explanation, or if anyone knows the technical explanation, but what Nerf is trying to do here is another type of proxy. Here, instead of proxying off of the dead body, he proxies more off of the boar's animation. which lets him gain height because the boar is moving into where he is currently. The proxy bonk, I don't know, man. Do people even understand proxy bonks?
If we think it's like you're going too fast, so you like smack into your own hitbox or something.
Okay, that's what I remembered too, but I wasn't sure if that was just speculation or not.
I don't know, man. It's just
Yeah,
it's dumb.
just video game. Yeah.
You did the trick too well, so you fail, pretty much.
Right.
It's a nice little bit of platform there. You can just jump straight into the top of this thing. This
Yep.
is normally supposed to be a... Oh,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be a
Go ahead.
side character from the second world, but you're intended to backtrack, but you can just jump on top of it and get in anyway.
Yeah, each of the hubs has one spot that you're intended to be backtracking to after you unlock Spyro's friends from the later levels, but you can skip into all of them, so...
Yeah, there's going to be a common theme. Anything that requires payment or backtracking, you can always skip it. In fact, there's only one you can't skip, and that's buying the fourth side character, but in the 100% completion, which is the only one that needs to go in there, you just beat the final boss, and when you beat the final boss, all the payment requirements are removed anyway, so the game just lets you in for free.
Yep. So that proxy bonk was kind of unfortunate, but actually it turned out in your favor, right? Because the death abuse route is actually faster anyway.
Yeah, I was planning to save at least one life, just in case something went wrong, because I think 0 lives in the game over is asking for a bit much, especially when it's very inconsistent, even in attempts.
Yeah, are you going to be going for the game over?
Oh yeah, no, it's unavoidable.
Sweet. Yeah, alright.
I
So yeah, there is going to be... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I may just grab one extra life just in case.
Sure. Yeah. So there has been a game over abuse routed into this category fairly recently. I don't know, how long ago has it been now?
The strats were all theory crafted and like drawn up about a year ago, but they weren't used a lot until this year, I believe.
Sweet.
And even then,
Okay.
it was just me and one other person.
Yeah, well, the strats are really neat. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it goes here.
Yeah, it's just very unfortunate that not exactly the most consistent route.
Yeah, for sure. So this is another level that has a couple different routes to it, depending on exactly how good Nerf's proxy was. I think you got like the middle route, right? Like the second
Yep.
fastest one.
Just enough to get out of bounds, but not the fastest route.
Yeah.
You actually don't want to miss the side area there that I went into if you are going that way. Don't look away or anything. Because if you go in bounds there, you'll start to activate the death plane from down below, but if you... like, you lose all control when that happens, but if you happen to touch ground, which normally is not possible, you will get soft locked. At least your movement. You can still leave the level, but yeah, obviously that's very bad.
Yeah. Yes, this is an interesting little sub-boss here, Bluto.
Yeah, he actually destroyed one of my crates. That's unfortunate.
That's so rude. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
normally,
a couple damage boosts actually makes this fight pretty fast because it keeps him up above longer.
yeah, the idea is you use your momentum to keep traveling backwards while still turning around to shoot him. And then, yeah, instead of running away from him from all of his attacks, you want to just let him hit you. And if you should have enough health going into it to avoid a death.
Yeah, it's tough though. Like most of the vehicles in this game, it's a little bit awkward to control. So takes some getting used to. Nerf's pretty good at it though.
Practice makes perfect.
It sure does.
My movement was actually fine there, I just happened to move a little bit too far back, and he crushed the crate by moving over it.
Real quick, we got a couple donations in here.
Go for it.
We got $10 from some egrets with no comment, but thank you very much. We also got $10 from Uber Disco. It says, good luck.
Thanks.
You both are welcome to put your donations towards any incentives. Just let us know. We'll get that situated.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Are they asking us? Was us donations?
Sorry?
Were they asking us?
When I heard the system,
Oh, I was
Oh,
saying,
no.
I was saying the donors are they didn't put it towards any incentives, so I was saying put it towards any incentives and just let us,
Yeah,
me,
wow.
Chelney, etc. know.
I was just gonna say, because I don't know any, so I mean, if they do say for us, of course you can just decide. I don't know.
Okay. Cool.
This
So
is a
this
fight.
is our first boss here. This is the aforementioned Bulbasaur, Buzz. This boss is kind of interesting. I know Nerf really hates him, but I don't hate him that much. So what's happening here is Buzz basically has two things that he does. He'll roll at you after you hit him, and then if he's low enough, he'll also put up a fire shield to protect himself. You can cancel the roll by just standing up against the edge of the arena because he's programmed to not roll off the edge by himself. And then by turning the camera away from him, you can prevent his fire shield from spawning.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where, like, it doesn't really look like anything's happening. It looks like a very cut and dry boss, but definitely are abusing pretty much every mechanic of the fight there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also pretty easy to get owned by that guy. If you do the wrong thing, or he does the wrong thing, or the weather's bad, or whatever, he can just own you.
Oh, weather. What, did he use Sunny Day?
Maybe.
Might have been playing a bit too much rando.
Yeah. All right, so this is a cool route for Midday Gardens with the bridge swim. It's kind of a weird swim in air. It's mostly just due to how the bridge geometry works that you can sort of force your way out of bounds and then trigger the swim state by charging. And you'll miss the container because you're slightly out of bounds.
Yeah, sorry. If you need to interrupt me to explain something, feel free, because I didn't just autopiloting, I think.
Okay.
Although I did notice I missed something there. There's the vases there in the homeworld. The egg is always programmed to spawn out of the last one you kill. So the idea is to kill that one last and shoot the sign at the same time, so you overlap the cutscenes from the egg and the sign breaking. But
Yes.
I actually did miss it there, unfortunately. It's not a huge deal, it just looks cool.
Yeah.
Saves like 2 or 3 seconds.
All right, so Sergeant Birds has some actual interesting movement to him. He has
sir.
two strafe buttons, L1 and R1, and he moves a little bit faster by strafing. So what you can do is by holding both of them, you can sort of maintain the strafe speed in any direction. In particular, forward is pretty good. So we can use that to go fast on the stage.
Yeah, unfortunately you don't get to see it a whole lot in the non-100%, but it still feels nice to pull it off well.
Mission
Yeah, wait, hold on. Isn't Spyro supposed to be green?
Is he?
I think so. Isn't that the incentive?
Did you win?
Yeah.
Oh, let me look at the cheat. Dude, I looked up the cheat and it didn't come up with
it's fine.
reignited cheats. Crazy.
Oh, really?
OG's back on top.
Heck yeah.
Green Spyro. Okay, there he is. Up, left. Up, left, down, right, up, square. R1, R2, L1, L2. Up, right, down, left, up, triangle. There we go.
Right. Thanks.
That was
Appreciate
that was a whole lot ordeal.
it.
Yeah, I'm terribly sorry, just been autopiloting this.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
It's a bit of a scam too, because he's not green during the loading screens. When he's coming out of a level, before you get control, he'll be purple. And then as soon as he lands, he'll be green.
Yeah.
It's only going to be green for like half the run, essentially.
It's fine. I'm pretty sure it was just my donation in the incentive, so it's okay. I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah, at least it wasn't purple, right?
You're right. So this is another level that changes depending on the height of the Croxy at the beginning. I've got like an okay one, but not quite enough to skip to the end of the level.
Yeah, it was almost enough. It's very slightly off. It does let you do the level in just a different order, really.
Yeah.
So nothing terribly exciting. But still cool nonetheless. Especially when it's one of the ones that goes really high.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can get some really good ones. off of that croc.
And so yeah, this level is actually placed this way in the whole world. It's always second in the route for every single category, just because of that cutscene. When that cutscene plays, you'll be spawned into the world just on the ground instead of watching Spyro fly out. And that one, for that level specifically, for some reason, the glide out is just extremely long. It's like 5 seconds.
Mhm.
Far longer than any other level. And that was actually good enough, but I hit the ceiling.
Oh, dang. Yeah, you got a nice bug pattern there.
Yeah, it's a shame because that route's pretty cool.
Yeah, so no bug proxy, unfortunately. We're going to be doing a slightly different proxy off of this boulder. This is the sort of third category of proxy. There's enemy proxies and then animation we've seen. That one's a squeeze proxy. It's the one that most people are the most familiar with. All the YouTubers make videos on them. Essentially, you're just squeezing Spyro into a space that's slightly too small for him, so the game ejects you out. In this case, up, which allows us to get a pretty decent sized skip there.
Yeah, I tried to get another bug there to get over the river, but he was content running into the wall. So I couldn't exactly do anything with him.
Yeah.
And yeah,
This egg is also pretty weird here. For whatever reason, well, I mean, I know the reason, but this is one of the few eggs that is actually loaded into memory before it's actually there. What's supposed to happen is that, like, once this bridge opens right here, the game is supposed to spawn an egg thief for you to chase around, but they keep the egg loaded, like, right under where he's supposed to be when he spawns. So as long as you're in some kind of grounded state, either swimming or walking, you can collect it there.
Yeah. And so use a nice little swim arrow conveniently right in front of him to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, quick little flame to open the level there. I tried to do
I
a
think
very...
that's... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I tried to do a very quick flame charge jump, but I kept missing the flame.
Yeah, just about that swim in air. I think that's the one most people have know about. Like they found it when they were a kid or whatever, because it's pretty easy to do. You just kind of charge in the wrong spot and you're swimming in there.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the first one I ever did as a kid. I think I was like 5 years old or something.
Yeah, you can do it by accident. It's so easy.
Pretty much. It's probably what set off the whole being interested in glitches thing.
Probably.
Because you get to swim, you get to swim to the top of the level, and you get to look at it from a top-down view, and everything's so small. It's really fascinating.
Oh, volume warning, by the way.
Yeah, these are we're disproportionately loud to everything else.
Oh, did we mention the faster teleport in Bird?
No.
Okay. Yeah, anytime the game is going to teleport you for a cutscene, like once the statue breaks, it teleports you over to Jasper. If you're already there in the right spot, you get a slightly faster teleport. I think it's about half a second faster for something like that.
Around a quarter or a third, but
Quarter, okay, yeah.
I think there's 3 in the run, so it's almost a full second. It's just definitely
Yeah,
time.
very minor time save, but it's completely free to do, so.
Yeah. Well, this is a cool level on the run.
It sure is.
Especially when you don't die on the first jump.
Nice, yeah. That jump's deceptively difficult.
It's definitely not intended.
Yeah. Those cheeky devs, they thought they put it just out of distance, but nope.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff just happened with those saves, but it all happens so quickly.
It sure did, yeah. Basically, what happens is by getting the thieves out of order, you mess with the yellow one. So Nerf got the red one first with a flame charge jump, and then what you can do is when you turn your camera, the yellow one will respawn, so you can just tap the camera and then flame him as he respawns.
Yep, and that first one actually is you can just go up the ramp and kill him normally. It's actually very easy. Like anyone can do it. It might as well be intended. I never did as a kid. I don't know why, but it's definitely.
Yeah, I don't know why either. Like, it's the most obvious thing in the world in hindsight, but
There's even a skill point there. It's like they're asking you to.
yeah.
But yeah, there's actually a slightly quicker way. Hold on. Okay, sorry, just needed to get up there. The way I did it was I just cancelled my supercharge and did a normal flame charge jump and flamed him through the bottom of the floor, which saves like 2-3 seconds. I think it's 2, but it looks way cooler.
Sounds right.
And yeah, a bit of unintended platforming. Another hard hover and a bit of a wall glide to flop up there into a spin jump, which is a jump where you start facing away and do a 180 into what you're trying to jump up to, and you get a little bit more height. And so, yeah, just a bit of unintended platform. It's a pretty cool section. Now this is everyone's favorite boss, the casual killer.
Yeah, this boss is brutal. Like, not only like he's pretty quick. He has a lot of different attacks, and his shots like kind of track you a little bit, which tends to throw people whenever they play this casually.
Cool, got the extra shot there. I'm gonna go for an extra red as well, I think, because of his positioning. Okay, got an extra red as well. It's not always faster to wait for an extra one. Forcing extra spawns, because he has 9 health, and normally you're supposed to do 3 attacks for each phase. But you can wait for an extra one to spawn, and then carry that into the next phase, which, again, isn't always faster, but it helps. It's basically bad luck prevention. So if he's standing all the way on the other side of the arena, I can just wait for an extra one, and not lose any time having to run over to him.
Yeah, it's also worth mentioning that Nerf's playing on the 1.0 version of the game.
Yeah.
So what happened with that? The main difference is in that boss fight. You don't get the cutscene before the boss, so it saves time on the load. But the egg spawns off to the side and not in the center, so you lose a little bit of time from having to walk a little bit of extra distance to the whirligig. Nerf got a slight glide there, which saves a little bit of time over having to walk the whole way.
Yeah. Did you mention the cutscene? I couldn't remember, honestly. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. It's actually a scary cutscene. I feel bad for you.
It
Played
is.
on 1.0 as a kid. You get
I
scared.
know. It is kind of jarring though, because like he just appears. Every other boss gets a cutscene, and Spike is just there.
Yeah. I should have made an incentive to watch the Scorch cutscene. Actually, that's a spooky one as well. The Scorch is basically she's getting really fed up that Spyro is beating everything she's throwing at him, and so she tries to solicit one of her minions to be transformed into this giant demon thing, and none of them want to do it. So one of the guards with the big shield just pushes the other one slowly towards him, and he's like, no, no, no.
Yeah, it just ends there. Like that's the end. It just fades to black on that. It's terrifying.
Yeah, so she just turns him into this giant flying demon bat thing. Very child-friendly game.
For sure. Alright, so lots of stuff in this level. One of the main things is that Nerf did take a death abuse. This level is a giant escort mission to escort Crazy Ed to his treasure. But you can skip to the end, and if you skip to the end and then die, after hitting the checkpoint, of course, then Crazy Ed will just be there, and you can save a little bit of time that way. And then Nerf quote-unquote died coming out of the level. And he's essentially in a zombie state now. Well, not anymore, he just died, but he was for a little bit. And essentially the way that works is just there's a frame between when you take damage in the game's memory and when the game actually kills you. So by pausing on that exact frame, the game recognizes that you should be dead, but has not killed you yet. So when you exit the level, you're in kind of an undead state. It's useful because you can't switch states very efficiently whenever you're zombied. So since Nerf exited the level underwater, he stays swimming the whole time.
Yeah, I spawned in the homeworld with my intended state, but since I'm technically dead, I cannot change my state, so it just lets you freely swim out of the water. and up wherever you please, but it's not beneficial to have that, so I end up dying straight away, so my state is saved, so if I respawn I will still be swimming, but I no longer have the undesirable effects from zombie.
Yep.
It is actually, I think 1 second faster to keep it, but it's definitely, it makes this level pretty annoying, and getting into the next one gives you a pretty tough spin jump to get into it.
Yeah, it prevents things like teleporting there, like you saw when Nerf talked to Bartholomew, and then there was a little teleport where it set him up for the gong hit. You basically have to do all that manually if you're zombied, which can be scary because you can get him in bad spots.
Yeah, a small little manipulation of the seals. Their cycle only advances while you're looking at them, so the idea is to look at them until right as they're about to throw their attack, because the only way to kill them is to reflect their attack, and then look away. So you stall their attack right as you get to them, because the NPC you're escorting cannot finish the level until all 3 of them are dead.
Yeah, Bentley unfortunately doesn't have too much actual tech to him. He
Pretty
can
much.
spin jump like Spyro can, but not much beyond that.
Pretty much that spin jump onto the crate was about the hardest thing you do in the level.
Poor Bentley.
He tries.
He does. He just constantly gets saddled with the worst levels, it seems like.
And the best part about actually skipping into the side areas is even though you liberate their level from their invading forces, as soon as you leave they're still in the cage. You fly through them. Okay, I won't be doing the death abuse in this level because I do want to save an extra life for the upcoming 2 levels because they are pretty hard.
Yeah. Alright, so there's a dead body proxy. That one's pretty easy. Like, the mammoth hitbox is pretty big compared to the other ones. Some of the other things you've seen. That one's not too bad.
Yep. So your flame breath is a little different. You don't actually flame, it's an ice flame. And you freeze things instead of killing them. So it's actually some intended platforming like that where you can freeze the friendly guy there, or the enemies, and you just stay on top of them. Unfortunately, it's just not really made use of too much, but...
Freeze your friends to access treasure, yeah.
Yeah, and this is a low-rank fighting game simulator. The optimal way to win this game is to spam one button and hope they don't attack you.
It sure is. Oh god, boxing owns. There's actually a 2-player feature with this. If you plug in a second controller after you beat it, you can play 2-player. Wed and I tried it at TDQ once, and it pretty much just delved into this. Whoever got the first jab won.
Just get the health lead and run away, pretty much.
That's a good plan too. I didn't even consider that.
I think that's considered good fundamentals for an actual fighting game if you're playing a more conservative turtle-based character.
I think so.
Just go a small lead and force them to come to you. But yeah, it's a pretty annoying part of the run because it does seem random if you can get guard break hits. Guard break hits will deal double damage, so you either have a chance to do double damage or just nothing at all. And yeah, it's not really consistent as to why you can guard break or not. It just sort of happens.
Yeah, it's a very weird minigame. Some people will swear that it's not random, and other people hate it with a passion because of how random it is. So depends on who you ask, I guess.
Some people are correct.
Yeah, that's true. Nice jump count.
It's 420, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Spyro.
Unfortunately, I'm going to be grabbing one right here.
Oh, no.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Let's go around again.
Nice forward proxy.
I think we get to try it again at least.
I'm guessing that's not what you were hoping for there.
Not exactly, no. So, I was hoping to jump over all the scenery and land over here with the first daggers.
Yeah, so there's a couple skips in this level. You can either proxy off of one of the cat wizards or one of the archers, or you can just jump through the wall there.
Unfortunately, you have to climb all the way to the top of that ladder to be able to jump down again. So, it feels very slow to get that egg sometimes. A quick proxy here to take us over to Jack and the Beanstalk. This is a challenge that looks cool and goes well, but it can definitely be frustrating. Mostly because the seeds decide if they want to plant or not. They have a home-in feature to the soil, but it doesn't always work. Or,
Well, I mean, it usually homes in. It's just a matter of if it actually decides to go in the ground or not.
yeah, exactly. Like it can home in, but still refuse to plant. Alright, second try. It's not too bad.
Yeah, so you can get some little boosted jumps off of these mushrooms. If you essentially just hold charge and then let go of it right before you bounce, you get a lot of extra height and can make some unintentional jumps here.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a thinking man's puzzle where you have to move all the plants around to get them into the right spots. You gotta get to the end, but with the help of boosted jumps, you can just go straight to the end.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a rude puzzle. I remember being stuck on this for a long time as a kid. The boosted jumps are much better.
Yeah, because you're expected to run all the way back and grab seeds from like the first half of the level. It's definitely a bit much for a 5-year-old. Anyway, scary proxy. I meant easy proxy.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So that proxy, you do it over a big bed of lava. So if you get absolutely nothing off that, which in this point of the run you would have 0 lives optimally, you will game over. And your run's over. Pretty much. Because you can't afford that much time. Which is why, for a marathon, it's a bit tough.
Yeah, this run is terrifying now. Holy crap.
Yeah. So I did opt for an extra life. It didn't turn out to need it, but better safe than sorry.
Oh, nice whale. Love that whale.
Yep. Nice going.
Aw.
He won't eat you again once you collect the egg, so it's the only time you can do that.
Yeah. You can still swim around and be friends with him, though, if you want.
Suppose so. Alright, another proxy.
Yeah, so this level's pretty infamous among casual people as being hard. It's pretty infamous among speedrunners for a similar reason. This proxy at the start here saves a lot of time, and the Firefly is not very big, but Nerf is a god at this, so of course he nails it.
Fortunately, I put the extra life to use. Gave myself another attempt at that. Otherwise I would have had
Definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Like 100%. How much does it save in this category? Like 20 seconds? Something like
25,
that?
yeah.
25. Whoa. Yeah, it's a lot.
Another side character skip.
Hey, Spyro!
And I don't think I'll talk for this one.
Yeah, I can explain it if you want.
Go for it.
Okay. Yeah, so Agent 9 is a monkey with a gun. He also has strafe options on the shoulder buttons, but his are a little different from Bird's. If you hold down one of them and mash the other, Agent 9 will do kind of like a zigzag and he'll start to build up speed. I think it's something to do with unnormalized vectors or something, and they just add up and you go really fast.
Ooh, that's bad actually.
Nice.
Oh, I had no health.
Oh, you took damage. Yeah, that's not good.
It's gonna be faster to grab the life, unfortunately.
Yeah. That was pretty good zigzag, though.
Yeah.
That's a lot harder to control than it looks, and it looks pretty hard to control. But Nerf's pretty good at it. He's one of the best I've ever seen at zigzagging. So you're going for a damage boost here.
Very good level. Apart from the second try Firefly.
Nice. Yeah, real good. That damage boost is also a lot harder than it looks.
On
Definitely not
NTSC,
free.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
But for some reason on Pal he throws it much further.
Right.
I'll actually die twice there just because I want to show where the game over puts you. I think if you have a life it's like 1 second slower to be doing the game over still, but yeah, it looks cool. It's the whole reason why it's notorious right now, so might as well show it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it saves you having to leave, get a faster loading screen, and puts you right here. Should I watch this cutscene?
If you want.
Oh, we did
Got
hype.
lots of time.
Oh, I did hype it up earlier.
Yeah.
Nah,
Might have to now. Oh,
sorry.
can't believe this guy.
Keep it as a speedrun. Maybe make that an incentive next year or something.
This might be.
Hypes it up and then and pulls the chair out from underneath us. Dang.
That actually came out later than I was expecting. Just,
Oh, nice.
yeah. He's supposed to be throwing weapons for you to collect and fire at the boss. The first one you can grab very easily because he's right there. You can just jump in front of him. But somehow I missed it. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, so this boss is awful, not really because of the boss, but mostly because of Bentley. You can see there's 2 color projectiles. There's a red and a green. The red is good. The red has 50 ammo to it, and it deals damage to the boss, obviously. The green has 1 ammo, and it deals the same amount of damage to the boss. So...
Yeah, so just say you're playing an FPS speedrun, and it was a random chance for an ammo crate to give you 1 bullet or 50. Which would you prefer? That's
Probably the 50.
That's pretty
Yeah.
much the fight summed up. I do find it enjoyable to play, at least. Randomness aside, but the randomness...
The fight?
Yeah.
The Scorch fight? Yeah, it's okay.
Mostly because of the exploding enemies, you can just jump above them and they explode. And then
Yeah.
you don't take damage.
Alright, so we're already to the final hub. This is Midnight Mountain. Got some great music.
Yep, it is midnight in Midnight Mountain, if you haven't noticed.
I think it's always midnight in Midnight Mountain.
Yeah, that's true. They had themes going for the second and third games. The second game had seasons. This one has times of the day.
Mm-hmm. I think they kind of gave up on that after this one, didn't they?
I think they gave up on Spyro in general.
Well, okay, fair enough. So this level's got a couple different routes too, depending on how proxies go.
Yeah, unfortunately I didn't even get the setup for the first one, so I couldn't really try it properly.
Yeah, that's okay. Swim in air here is cool.
Yeah,
You use the wizard's gem to kind of push you back and go from there.
yeah. So you dive, but at the same time you get pushed out by the crystal. It's a very unique type of swim. And yeah, that's a plane thief. You're supposed to chase him around, but if you just go head on, then he runs into you and dies instantly. This part's pretty cool. The trigger for this end of level guy to give you the egg is very big.
Here.
So you can just hop right in front of the area portal, get a black screen sometimes, and on the first frame that you get control, you'll go in. Ah, false holding square.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, so here's your Mario Kart, or your Mario 64 slide rather. Lots of ways to skip this one. Nerf almost got the fastest one, which is pretty hard.
and the cool one.
Yeah, and the coolest one, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, I did get a very good proxy of him. I just was not holding square, so I could not harness it as forward as I would like to. What that lets you do is just, you can glide over the whole slide. It's a very leisurely glide, like 15-second break pretty much.
Yeah. To see the pretty scenery and stuff too. It's good.
Quick little thief cut off there, you just jump off the bridge, he turns around and you flame him. Sometimes he doesn't though, and it can be a little annoying. I prefer to just not even chase him, I just die and go for it again.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I preferred as well. Chasing him feels just awkward through that terrain.
Yeah, and sad.
Yes.
Yeah, two very quick
Alright.
proxies there.
These ones are pretty easy, although they're kind of a little bit different. The setup is kind of just walking around them and waiting for them to attack. So this is fairly new. Definitely since the last time you ran this here.
Yeah, I think this is the only challenge change since I was last here. I actually lost the control of my D-pad for a second during the third guy, but I still managed to get 6, so it's not the worst. But
Yeah, the sharks will always start in a static position and then go from there. So as long as you're good, then this is usually a pretty fast one. But if it gets out of control, then it can be bad.
yeah, it's a little hard to back up. Some of them are pretty easy, but guys like that where they're just weaving in and out of pillars, it's a bit of a problem. It's actually kind of funny though, because the fourth guy I shot with like a stray bullet.
Oh, weird.
Well, well.
I was actually supposed to glide into this cutscene and land right in front of her, but I was trying to press square and X really quickly to drop my height a bit, but I managed to get...
Yeah, doing that prevents the soft lock, doesn't it?
No,
By
I
coming into it from sharks
Oh.
instead of...
that way, yeah. I was trying to just land right in front of her, because you can...
Sure.
Yeah, if you land like where she's trying to stop, she'll just push you out of the way.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because there used to be... The way we used to do that is like do the scorpion proxy up to her and then get the end of level egg and then go through the rest of the level.
Hi, Spyro.
But if you approach from sharks, then you're kind of going the more intended way, so the game will not soft lock like it can if you come straight on.
Yeah, it happens with all like proximity-based cutscenes. Once you enter them, if you leave, like pretty much straight after, the game will not tell it to progress. So any character or item that has to move just doesn't happen, and you're stuck in a cutscene. And that's a proper soft lock. You can only fix that by resetting the game.
Yeah. It's a nice little 2D side scrolling here. I really like this side area. It's like fun to optimize the Sheila.
Little taste of NES, just jump and kick.
Yeah.
Oops. Normally I'm supposed to get this egg before I go in, but I didn't get the damage boost off the scorpion flame from out of bounds. So, a bit slower to get it from there, but not the end of the world. Level after this one is going to be my favourite one, actually.
Yeah, this level's good. I don't know, I think I might like the one after it a little bit more, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, quick little death beast there. Same as the other ones. I guess that was never really explained, right?
I don't think so. I think we just
Yeah.
touched on it quickly.
So it has this whole animation that it goes through, but the moment you've talked to it, it's in your inventory. So the idea is that you jump out of the trigger at the same time you collect it, and you can just die and skip the cutscene and respawn in a more favourable position. That's a nice little level skip.
Yeah, very nice.
This is actually the end of the level already.
Yeah, that one's actually pretty easy to do if you're playing along at home. You don't have to quite do it that quickly, but like the door, when it starts to come back up, is very telegraphed, and you can just jump on it then.
Yeah, I guess Insomniac thought they're very clever trying to put the end of levels right at the start to tease you, but yeah, skips for
Didn't
pretty
work
much
out most of the time. Yeah.
skips got found for every level, so jokes on them. everyone's favorite minigame.
Yep.
The first
Oops. A bit of failed menu. These guys actually don't have a standard menuing. They asked you to answer a riddle to be able to progress.
you may not mind.
Yeah, they're not particularly hard riddles, but
Nah.
hard to menu, really. 'Cause
At
the
least-
answers are not the first option.
Yeah. I think two of them, there's three in the level, and two of them are definitely like established real world ones, but I think this one's more like a custom tailored Spyro one for the tank stage. And it's more of a trick question than a
Yeah, it's like a first or second grade math question when you're learning about
That would
division, I guess. Maybe a little bit older than first or second. But yeah, I've definitely seen problems like this in on Twitter, stuff like that.
If it takes one dragon 12 years to lay one egg, how long does it take 100 dragons to lay 100 eggs? Very
It's
tough.
in the chat, folks. Alright, so coming up to our last level, which is Dino Mines.
Which actually does have a, like Icy Peak, a bit of unintended platforming, which I always find cool.
Totally. I love this level. It's not like that interesting in a speedrun, but like just the theme and the enemy design and stuff is really, really good in this level.
I think we get to hear the theme here.
Yeah.
It's reused Molten Crater. It's another quirk of being on the 1.0 version. The music's a little bit more incomplete than the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, bunch of
Especially
unintended
noticeable whenever we get to the sorceress.
platform. Yeah. It's worth noting you can jump down into this prison cell and talk to him, but the trigger for him to let you into the level and get the egg is by breaking that wall there. So the idea is to just get around the cliff and break it as soon as possible.
one of them.
That's the one, Fatso. That's the one I've seen around that's similar.
I don't want to guess in case I'm wrong. So much to think about during a challenge, we can fail very easily.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, fortunately, you don't have to defeat the enemies in this one. You do in the Seashell Shore one, but in this one, you just have to get to the end. "99 eggs." Almost there.
Why don't you just do the sorceress and get her egg for the 100th one?
Good question.
And there we go. All we have to do is kill the final boss. Which is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, this is a boss. I'd say it's a bad one. It can just be a frustrating one whenever it goes poorly.
Yeah. Before One Runner decided to invest 20-30 hours into trying to figure out exactly what she's doing for every situation, this boss was considered to be pretty random in how the skips worked. Because similar to Spike, where you're intended to have different weapons for different phases, like 2 cannon hits, 4 tank hits, and 6 UFO hits, you could get a quicker weapon on a later phase by seemingly pure chance. But it's all been figured out now, and while with this current strats we can't get the absolute quickest possible fight, it's definitely much more consistent and more enjoyable than it has been in the past. So I would not weigh my chances on a very rare drop rather than taking a consistent fight here. Because this fight,
Yeah.
at the end of the run, being inconsistent is not fun. So I got 3 hits there, which is already an extra hit more than I was supposed to, so I got 5 now. One more hit here will actually put me in the UFO phase, but by seeing that shot there and jumping off, he'll still go over the tank, and I can transition into the UFO phase with the tank.
Yeah, which is really good because the UFO is constantly moving forward, so you kind of have to turn around every time you shoot her, or every time you fly past.
Time.
Yep, that's time.
Yeah, the UFO is also hard to aim because it's, like you said, it's always moving and it's got 3D range attack, up and down and all that good stuff. That looks like a 54, 20 or something with our timing. 54. 30.
Yeah, so like I think it was 55, 15 on the last hit, so minus what 30, 39.
Around that, yeah.
Yeah,
That was
and take
4 minutes better than the run I did yesterday, I think.
nice. Yeah, take out the cheat code input. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good.
Oh, yeah, true. I cheated, so this run is.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, dang.
Oh dear.